recorded. All right, you're on the recorded line. Signal. So, happy Sunday. Thanks for taking the time to connect. I'm just going to put you guys on mute just because the background is, you can hear everything. That's all. I just had this tell Marcus to be quiet for a second. Okay, so the agenda items, and I apologize for last week. I know I said the meeting would be 20 minutes long, and then I realized we had Steve on, and we all laughed later. That obviously wasn't 20 minutes, but I appreciate you guys hanging in and listening to him. But this meeting will be about 15, 20 minutes, but definitely long enough to answer you guys' questions and, bring you up to speed with everything. So the agenda I had in mind for today that I posted earlier was the return to play phase tournaments, the USJN tournaments, which is our national tournaments, and our regional and local tournaments, which is HOOPSOURCE. Also update on the virtual stuff, the virtual tournaments and other things that we had coming up. Some summer options, in person and virtual stuff and clinics, and then gear update. And then Fit Republic protocol, as well as travel, protocol. So I'm going to stick with those. And I'm also happy to answer any questions that pop up that you think of too. So first things first was the return to play phase. Appreciate you guys for taking the time to fill that out. I always want to get a pulse on how people feel, instead of just, it's not just me in this and how I feel. We're all in this together. So I wanted you to be a part of the process. So really taking your feedback in and kind of getting a pulse of how you guys feel about what's going on and how comfortable you would feel moving forward and how we would move forward. And the general consensus is obviously safety's first, but most people, it sounded like, would feel comfortable if they knew what the protocols were, i.e. what our protocols are as an organization, what the Fit Republic's protocol will be, how we will train if we get together, etc. The cleanliness, the social distancing, and kind of that. And that's completely expected. I expected that, but wanted to make sure there wasn't any, a vast majority thinking otherwise. So we're definitely, our protocol is pretty much set. Obviously, we have to now wait for Fit Republic to post and share theirs, and they haven't yet officially. I believe there's going to be some gym protocols, but we're waiting for Fit Republic specifically to tell us how they're going to run and how we can run as an organization within. So that should come out this week, I think. They had a meeting on Thursday, so that's what they're telling us. So let's see. Did anybody have any questions about the phase plan? Was it pretty clear? Did I miss anything? Did you read it? Hopefully, good. Good deal. All right, we'll move on from that. Okay, the next thing is the HOOPSOURCE tournament, which is the local and regional tournament, which affects most of our youth teams, our younger teams. And, they play here in the Seattle area, they play in Portland. And then there was also a California tournament for the younger team. So no new information from them. Obviously, they're waiting on, how things are going to move forward, but nothing new from last week, which is that they're scheduled to go in July unless something changes. So that's them. And I will keep updating as they update. And they have some protocol in place, but obviously it depends on the venues they use. Venues meaning if they're using a high school versus a convention center, there's different protocols. So they're working on that, and I will post for the youth teams when they update Now for the USJN stuff, which is our national, which affects our high school teams, they're a go. So they've moved some of the big tournaments. They've moved the Chicago tournaments to Indiana. They moved the other and DC tournaments and the DC tournament and Milwaukee. So um, I will send a separate message. We'll have meetings this week for the traveling teams for that. And this affects the high school travel teams, and it also affects the Rising Blue Star 7th grade team. So I'll send separate messages because it only affects 4 teams. And, you know, we have a lot of other teams on this call. So look for those messages to go out, and those updates to go out, and those logistics to go out about the USJN tournaments. Those are our national college viewing tournaments. And I'll tell you guys my mindset, just so you understand why we're moving the way we're moving. So the youth program, 4th through 8th, I'm really focused on developing. And so I'm not in a hurry to push for tournaments here or tournaments there. So we're just going to move the way we're moving by way of virtual practices, virtual trainings, the leadership programs, all the other stuff we have in place. And we've added a virtual tournament next weekend for the 4th through 8th, so they can try it. It's free. I will send it. I'll put it on the calendar so you guys can just click and register. But my intention is to get some feedback from that. And if that's something that people like or the kids like, are really interested in, we can build on it on our side in our program. So so I'm mostly focused on virtual stuff and training stuff, and we'll move towards the tournament stuff as HoopSource moves towards tournament stuff. But really, as long as they're training, they're okay. That's kind of my mindset. Now, high school is a little different because they're now in the showcase and playing for scholarships. So we have one junior, which is good. Everyone else is sophomores and freshmen, so we have a little time. But we have, there's an opportunity for them to showcase. We have to go to Indiana because they'll be in phase 5, in July. But so for them, I'm focusing on college viewing and showcasing and recruiting versus the youth program, which is training, development, and just working on that piece. So that's why we're moving in 2 different directions for our two sides of our organization. Any questions about tournaments and any further clarity needed? No, not yet. Good. Okay.
Hey, what is the virtual tournament?
So the virtual tournament is scheduled for next Saturday, and I'll send out the link. I'll send it out again. You just register. It's hosted by one of our partners, one of our junior NBA partners, and it's a contest that they'll be able to compete: shooting contest, 3-point contest, free throw contest, other contests, and they'll be playing against. And the coaches will be online, and they'll be playing against other people in New Jersey. I think New Jersey's on there, Chicago, San Diego, just different players in other countries, or I'm sorry, other parts of the United States. And just a different opportunity. Yeah, just a different opportunity for our younger players to do something safely, until we can get them on the court. So that's why I want everyone to do it and kind of give me feedback. But I'll resend it. I'll resend it. It'll be on the calendar. You just have to click and register, and it's free. And if you get charged, let me know. You shouldn't be charged, but it's free. I'll send that out. All right. So I'll let me write that down to send that out. Retro stuff. Okay. Let's see. So going into our summer options, I talked about that already, and that's really the virtual camps or clinics, and this will we'll move on this if it's even an option for, or even an opportunity that people want. I'm looking for feedback to move towards the virtual stuff. Um, it's different from what we're doing. It's not the Zoom practices and Zoom training. It's actual camps and clinics. And this is again for the 4th through 8th grade group. The high school group will continue doing what they're doing, which is the recruiting advisory, which is huge and has added a great advantage for our players compared to other players. The leadership, all that stuff will continue, but this is again for the younger groups until tournaments come, until things shift. But also we'll still keep a virtual option even when we get back to whatever our new normal is. We'll still keep a virtual option because this is interestingly a good way for us to stay connected to our East Side players, our players in Portland, and beyond. So this is actually something we'll continue. The gear update. So all of it's in. I think we're missing one box. I can show you guys. It's all by my door. Yeah, it's quite interesting. So we have it lined up here. So this is the boxes. They're all lined up by grades. So I just put them in the box as they come in. So if you guys come, just shoot me a message first. I've organized it where their names on the boxes. So when people come, I just cross it off. I will tell you, I will be honest, I did not open this box here. So I don't know what that is. I think it's fan cloth. And then our first set of masks have come in. Our masks are in. It's kind of cool. The next set, it did take longer than the 10 days, but it came. So our second order should be in Tuesday, and then we have a third order. But the link is online. If you want to get, it takes about, we'll say 2 weeks. We'll say 2 weeks. They say 9 days, but it's about 2 weeks. All right. Any questions? Looking at my notes. So what we're working on this week is the travel protocol. Should we move in that direction as far as flights, et cetera? These are for the travel teams. And then we're waiting for the Fit Republic protocol so we can implement that and share with you guys. And then the final logistics for the summer via virtual stuff for the youth and more traveling for the high school teams. And that's where we are.
Are they going to have any practices, or what are the chances of them having any practices before they leave this summer?
Oh, yeah, we won't go if we don't practice. Oh, yeah, we can't show up. So the plan is, so right now, we're still doing the virtual stuff, but we're hoping by the first week in June is our hope, is that we can move to at least outside with teams where we're not sharing equipment. We can kind of still train together as teams. And then the phase after that, we're hoping a couple weeks after that, we can start practicing as teams, maybe do walkthroughs, still no contact, whether that's in the gym or outside. Either way, we'll be with our teams. And then after that, we're hoping to have full practices where there's contact, and that's at least enough time for us to get some practicing in before we go. So we're hoping in a couple weeks we can at least start getting together as teams and then working through some stuff. What's happening now on a training level, people are getting better, right? So they have that piece. What they're missing is the team chemistry, and we're hoping that in a few weeks we can start to build on that. But we're really pushing our training and our virtual stuff, all our workouts, training, skills, ball handling, Facebook Live, all that stuff. We're telling our girls they should be running every day. The stuff that they can do on their own, they should be doing on their own. And then us getting together is just a matter of building our team chemistry, getting our plays situated, and that, but ready to go. So yes, we must practice before we go. We will practice before we go. We can't go and not practice.
For those practices, where are you thinking practice will be, and timing of the day kind of thing?
I'm going to try to keep practices the same as scheduled times, closely too. But obviously, if the numbers have to be a lot lower, we can't mix teams, then it might be a little 30 minutes off or 45 minutes off. But I'm trying to keep it the same days, the same times as their normal practices already. Or if we can get a bit bigger place, if we're outside and there's 4 courts, then we can have a team per court. So we're looking at those options right now. As far as outside, if we're in Fit Republic, we will have designated times, and then there has to be 15 minutes between each group for us to clean, and a wave goes in and a wave goes out and a wave comes in. So and you'll see all that before we start it. You'll see it all before we start. I didn't want to post it until it was kind of confirmed, but that's kind of the gist. That's kind of the general way we're going to move. So I can't wait to get them back.
Hey, Coach.
Yep.
Do I need to register Ellie for the tourneys, the out-of-state tourneys?
Yeah, so I'm going to have a meeting with the 7th grade team to let them know because it's changed. The schedule has changed for that group. So I'm just going to send a message and let you guys know updates, and we'll do the logistics for that.
All right, cool.
I have a question.
Just so you know, they'll be going to Ohio and then straight to Milwaukee. So it's just one.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have an 8th grader right now who is almost done with 8th grade year. So when you start referring to them as high schoolers, are 8th graders who are almost done with that, or should we be thinking high school stuff, or?
Yes. Yeah. The 8th graders should definitely be taking high school stuff. But they're have an 8th grade season through July, and then they shift. So depending on how things go with HoopSource, whether they'll be playing 8th grade, because technically they can play 8th grade until August 31st. But they've already posted a high school schedule for the fall, so she'll be shifting to that anyway. If not sooner, because if not everybody wants to travel, there may be an opportunity to play on one of the high school teams too. So, but I'll let you know. Yeah, I'll send you a message and give you guys some options. Any other questions? All right. I think we're good then. Going once, going twice. All right, but if you think of anything, please shoot me a message, email, text, call. Email or text is easier. If you need me to call, if you text me to say call, that's probably easier too. I'm always in the middle of something, and I try not to interrupt that thing that I'm doing. Like I have a text right now that I'm not looking at till it's over. So, but just shoot me a message. Happy to answer any questions. All right.
Thanks, Vanessa.
You're welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
You too. Happy Memorial.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.